Well, I finally invested in getting a brand new complete after over 2 years. The last one, people are like, how's your board last for 2 years? Well, it was not breaking. You know, you don't always have to snap a board to ruin it. I left it in the car too many times. I live in a humid place. Humidity soaks into the wood. The wood pretty much got waterlogged. I was riding Bones Reds and they pretty much just, you know, they worn out. So I couldn't do manuals, couldn't roll fast. The wheels, I started at 50. That was a big mistake, and then wore them down to probably 44. So changed things up a little bit this time with this. I went with the real deck again because it seems like they have the most proportional nose and tail versus like a really big tail or really big nose and then a small tail, vice versa. Like Baker boards, Baker has the best concave. I like their shapes. I just wish that they were a little more symmetrical, so I don't know what's going on with that. But real seems to be a little mellow with the concave, and then symmetrical, really good board feel, good flip, stability, all of that. So I went with that. Got Mob grip this time. Last board I had Grizzly, and then that wore out, so you know I wasn't having much grip. I know that Mob is a shoe eater, so that's not going to be very fun for the shoes, but it is the coarsest grip that I've ridden. Got the Spitfire Formula 4s. I only went with the classic shapes. I didn't go for the Reynolds or anything else. I went up a size from 50 to 52 just because they tend to wear down a little bit more, and bigger wheels should roll a little bit better. You're not going to be as low to the ground, and wheel bite does increase, but got that. They don't flat spot, and they're grippy, but then they slide. So like for some reason I could never do back full cabs, but once I learned back full cabs, it was on Spitfires, because then I could turn like 270 and then just revert it around and slide it while still not slipping out. So just been a fan of those. Inflation was crazy though since the last time I bought a board. The wheels went up like 50-75%. Trucks have gone crazy up. I just got the basic, I think the normal Thunder hollow lights. They're not the team or anything, but I like the responsiveness of Thunder trucks. And you know, they got that rebound, and I just really like how they turn. They're not as good as Indies for like carving or turning or riding transition, but you know, they're pretty good for grinds, flip tricks, pinching stuff. I don't like the wider wheelbase, so I'll probably lose 540 shove-its and 540 flips and all of that on this, which is really easy with Indy trucks because that brings your center of gravity into the middle. Main difference with this board versus the other one, because other than the wheel being slightly bigger, everything has stayed the same since my last perfect ideal setup video that I made. They were on sale. They had some Bronson bearings. They're normally like 40, but they were on clearance on the website, and so I got them for like 18. And normally I get the Bones Reds, which are the cheapest, and I know people want to debate about that, but you know, they're good when they're new, but they kind of wear out pretty fast and they kind of lose their pizzazz. But paid $2 extra to get bearings that are almost twice as expensive, so I'm just assuming if they're more expensive they're better. Can't see them here, but they got they're purple and they got some lightning bolts on it, so that should be interesting. But yeah, other than the real, the Thunder, the Spitfires and all that, the only differences is just Mob grip, and I went with Bronson bearings, and it's still an 8.5 deck. So I'm still trying to break in the board, so you know, I'm not doing any insane tricks on it yet because I'm going to Alabama, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, Texas, the whole East Coast next month, and I just need a new board for out there for filming, because I'm going to be meeting up with all of the old skater friends who used to be on the YouTube channel 10 to 15 years ago if you go back and look at the backlog of videos. So there should be a lot of skate tricks actually filming this summer, so be prepared for that, because originally my channel was called FaZe Skater. A lot of the original subscribers know me as FaZe Skater, so this summer there's going to be a lot of FaZe skating, if you know what I mean. But this is my new board, and then I got the shoes all repaired and set up, so this should be a pretty interesting summer with a new board and a bunch of new skate parks and street spots. The trucks aren't fully broken in, so you can see the lopsidedness when I landed with all the weight there. Yeah, these struts are still pretty loose from the factory. Look at that. I don't know if the autofocus gets it, but that chewed in pretty deep.